to sound like a rock star.
But anyway, I've got a lot to say. I'm very thankful that everybody showed up for being here today, because I feel Marilyn would tell me I was being rude if I didn't. She was very proper that way. That was Marilyn, always keeping me in line with her no-nonsense ways and her unconditional love. Don't touch me. You're gonna give me the heebie-jeebies. Blow the waist only. I want to start by saying a few things that speak to my wife's character. She was kind, smart, loving, believed in karma, God, and compassionate. And I'll give you an example, which is really hard to describe compassionateness. But this is kind of funny, but whenever we would go out to dinner in some of the finer restaurants in Detroit or down in Key West, she could never eat a full portion. And she would get a carry-out box. And then it was her mission to find the worst, saddest homeless person in the street and give them their food. And she did this over and over. It drove me crazy. Sometimes I just wanted to go home.
And eat the food.
Yeah, I wanted the food. But she was always thinking of somebody else who didn't have enough. She was everything to me, and I miss her terribly. She knows that I loved her, but I want to express to all of you how much I loved her. And that's the reason we're here today. And most of all, and most of you here just don't get it, because most of you haven't had a spouse die. Marilyn's best friend, who lived next door, had a spouse die, and she flew up from Florida, and she's in the damn hospital at DMC with a sodium of 114 and diverticulitis. So she's an elderly woman, but she was Marilyn's wine buddy. Lived next door, they had wine every night. Marilyn was a good-hearted person who truly loved helping others. That's why she put in time as a nurse's aide with my brother Louie at an old nursing home, and then finally an occupational hand therapist for 40 years taking care of people who needed rehab. Somehow in all that work and daily chaos, she found time to be an amazing mother to our son and the best wife a man could ask for. She really did things for herself, wanting to make sure her family was happy and healthy. She never complained about working to help me support us, and she was happiest when she was working, fishing, boating, drinking fine wine, and planting. I kind of feel like a broken man, and my better half is gone, but I can see her in the face of my son. And that gives me comfort. He was all so important to her, and her face would light up whenever she would see him or talk to him on the phone. She made sure he had siblings, since we only had one son, in the form of bandmates and high school friends that would often live at our home for months at a time due to unusual circumstances. I won't say what they are, but I really enjoyed their company. She would even make vegan and non-vegan dinners for his crazy bands after practice, and they all obliged. They loved her generosity. She was beautiful both inside and out, and when she smiled at me, I felt alive. I was truly blessed to have a wife who loved me and that I loved so much in her. She loved to fish, swim, and snorkel in the ocean. I thought that said smoke. For hours, making discoveries so exciting. She loved the smell of the ocean and the smell of the fertile earth. I didn't know how I'm going to make it without her, but I know she is up there telling me to suck it up and to prevail. I'm going to skip some of these paragraphs. But she had great hearing. She would help me figure out how to play lead guitar for some riffs I was trying to learn on the radio, and I would get the wrong notes, and she could pick them out on the piano really perfectly. And then in restaurants, she could hear conversations 2 and 3 tables down and tell me what the hell they were talking about, and it was some of the most filthy stuff you could imagine. And it was really fantastic entertainment. And She did this without electronics. I don't know how, but myself being in the band, my hearing is kind of damaged, so I can't hardly hear anything anyway. I think that she's still here with all of us. Her family, child, and everybody was her life. She would do anything for her family. We all loved her dearly. There's a great deal of loss felt within those of us gathered today. My Marilyn was strong until the end and never losing her fight even on some of the most painful days. This was her third time fighting cancer, and the first 2 times she came bounced right back in perfect health. And the third time was just the last time. We are all children of the universe, right? And all have consciousness and self-awareness, right?
Yeah.
Therefore, the universe must have consciousness.
Yeah.
So maybe there is some hope for all of us. And this is from Ray Bradbury. It's a great quote. Everyone must leave something behind when you die, it's been said. A child or a book, or a painting, or a song, or a house, or a wall built, or a garden planted. Something your hand touched some way so your soul has somewhere to go when you die. And when people look at that tree or that flower or that painting or that building that you planted, you're there. It doesn't matter what you do, so as long as you change something from the way it was before you touched it into something that's like you after you're taking your hand away. And my yard's full of her flowers. And they pop up every month. She was an expert gardener, farmer, cook, swimmer, and lover of life. She did not go easy. That was not her way. She experienced life to the fullest every day, and believe me, I made sure of it since I'm so dangerous by myself. Nothing scared me, nothing scared her. And there was no sense of living in fear. I salute her for making me appreciate life so much, more so than I could do by myself. It was great being married to her, and I cannot imagine being happier than I've ever been in her arms every night of our 47 years together. And a lot of people say, how long you were married? I go, 47 years. I go, oh, that's good enough. What the fuck are you complaining about? But she was only 66, so put that in perspective. She was not afraid to do anything, from riding my motorcycle to fishing in the Keys, 15 to 20 miles from land, in an old boat with a novice captain, to riding out hurricanes. She was my rock. She was not only my wife, she was the one who would do all the things I wouldn't do, like fill out birthday cards, and fill out anniversary cards, and Christmas cards, and all I had to do was sign and stamp them. God, I miss her so much, I feel like something is missing, but I know she will always be with me. We had a good long marriage, longer than I ever expected. I thank you very much, Marilyn, for bringing me so much joy and being my best friend. That's it. I'm glad I got through it. And then there's this little order of the ceremony. I got this from some wacko grief person who just deals with people having grief every day, 7 days a week. I don't know how she does it. But when I say a sentence, you're supposed to say, we will remember you. And then we'll be done. No more sappy stuff. But here we go. In the rising of the sun and it's going down, you're supposed to say,
we will remember.
In the blowing of the wind and in the calm of the stillness,
We will remember you.
in the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring,
We will remember you.
in the blueness of the sky and the warmth of the summer,
We will remember you.
in the midpoint of the year and the beginning and end,
We will remember you.
when we are weary and in need of strength,
We will remember you.
when we are lost and sick at heart,
We will remember you.
when we have joy and our tears to share.
We will remember you.
So after this one, we should raise our drinks and do some kind of toast.
We will remember you.
Yeah? So long as we live, you too shall live, for you will always be part of us.
We will remember you.
Thank you very much.